Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you are in the world, and welcome to the What's New in Sitefinity 8.2 webcast. I'm Robert Madsen, Director of Product Marketing for the Sitefinity platform, and also joining us today is Anton Hristov, Senior Product Manager for Sitefinity.
Thank you, Rob, and hello, everyone.
So before we get started, we'll do a little housekeeping. Yes, there is a recording of this webcast that will be available afterwards, so if you'd like to see it again for something you've missed or share it with a colleague, you'll be able to do so. Now, if you have questions, and we certainly hope you do, feel free to use the online chat feature and we'll address them at the end of the presentation. However, if your questions do get very specific or they require a really long answer, we'll answer them directly to the requester after the presentation is completed. So this is an exciting time. We put a lot of work into Sitefinity 8.2, and that all started with customer feedback, because really how people are using our platform and our products is really what drives our future direction. So when we took a look at what we were going to do, we listened to the voice of the customer from the very small organizations all the way up to the large global enterprises. So we broke it down into 4 different areas for this webcast. One is digital marketing, because we know that with the websites that people are using, that digital marketing is one of their highest priorities. We wanted to make sure that it was easier for digital marketers to do their job without having to rely on technical resources, so they can do their job faster and more efficiently.
So I just want to add here that with this release, we're introducing more flexibility and to the ability to deliver personalized experiences, as well as measure those personalized experiences and see how they attribute to increasing conversions.
And of course, user productivity. Because when we use that term, it's not just the marketer changing the website, it's the developer too, because we know that we've got very technical folks that use this as a platform and also non-technical people that need to get their jobs done. So we want to make sure that we do user productivity at both levels. Is that right, Anton?
That's right. And with this release, we're adding improvements in user productivity across the board.
And when it comes to performance, it's not only how the system performs, but also understanding how it performs. So you can take a look at a performance dashboard and understand if your system's been configured properly and if you're getting the maximum performance out of the platform. And finally, scalability. As I mentioned before, we've got organizations that are from the very small to the very large. And when you get to be large organizations that are running a lot of content and personalized content as well, you have to make sure that your system scales properly. And we've done a lot of work to make sure not only that it scales properly, that also you can understand what's working correctly and what isn't. So in today's agenda, we're going to take a look at that digital marketing area, focusing on content personalization and on audience segmentation and how that drives engagement. We'll take a look at some online forms, and that's based on Project Feather. And for those of you not familiar with Project Feather, it's something we've been doing here at the Sitefinity team for well over 2 years. And we're building web-based forms based on MVC. And also, we're taking a look at MVC other widgets to make sure that you can utilize your development tools as well as possible. And then we want to take a look at performance and scalability for the optimizations we've done in performance, but also how you can use platforms like Microsoft Azure and the Amazon Cloud for configuration and auto scalability. And finally, when you upgrade your website, what happens? We want to make sure you understand all of that so you can take a look at exactly what's changed when you upgrade your website from one version to another. And with that said, I'm going to hand it over to Anton, and he's going to walk you through the details of what we've changed in Sitefinity 8.2.
Thank you, Rob. I'm very excited to present in more detail what the team has delivered for the 8.2 release, starting with the new things around content personalization, audience segmentation, and engagement. With the new personalization per widget, we're giving marketers great flexibility and granularity to personalize content per widget on both pages and templates. Out of the box, we're providing several widgets that can be personalized, such as content blocks and images. Developers can also build custom widgets that can be personalized. And with the ability to personalize widgets, we're enabling marketers to easily create a personalized page that targets a visitor who may belong to several segments. For example, a visitor can come from United Kingdom and they can be an existing customer, and we're now able to deliver a more personalized experience by showing content that is personalized for each segment that this visitor belongs to. And I'll elaborate more on this example in the upcoming demo. There's also a new engagement widget, which we call card widget, that aims to help marketers to better engage with their target audience by providing on-page recommendations for best next step, such as downloading a white paper or registering for an event. This new card widget can be personalized and its source code is available on GitHub, so that developers can use it as an example of how to build custom widgets that can be personalized. Marketers can now also measure whether their hard work to deliver personalized content is actually paying off and increasing conversions. Thanks to the new personalization analytics feature, which is part of the Sitefinity Digital Experience Cloud, marketers can now see reports on page visits per segment, and they can also see how the personalized content attributed to increasing conversions for that specific segment. Another set of new digital marketing features available in the Sitefinity Digital Experience Cloud are around audience segmentation and engagement. We continue to deliver on our vision for creating a true 360-degree view of the customer by enriching the contact information with custom fields which marketers can use for segmentation. For example, you can now track conversion rates for contacts who belong only to a specific industry, and the system will provide data-driven recommendations to increase conversions for this segment only. There are also new Sitefinity DC API events that can be used to trigger workflows in third-party marketing automation systems when a lead reaches a certain threshold. And this feature has been requested by our existing DEC customers who wanted to run drip campaigns when their leads reached a certain point within Sitefinity DEC. And with that, I would like to do a quick demo and show you the new digital marketing features of the Sitefinity platform. So we're gonna switch to our demo website here, Quantum Computers, that most of you have already seen. And for those of you who are new to the Sitefinity world, this is our demo fictitious company that we use to showcase Sitefinity. So we see this website, and I'm gonna log in into the backend so that we can personalize the homepage here and give it so that existing customers who visit the homepage see a recommendation to purchase a tablet instead of a laptop, which they have already purchased. So I'm just gonna log in here by going to the website /Sitefinity, logging in with my admin user, and let's see here, log the other person out. All right, and this is our dashboard. So we're gonna go to the pages area and find the home page that we want to personalize. I'm gonna click on the home page, and here is our home page. As I mentioned, we want to personalize this page for existing customers who already have a notebook purchase, and we want to show them a banner to purchase a tablet. So what I'm gonna do is, this is our content block widget, and I'm gonna personalize this widget for customers with notebook purchases. All right, I'll choose this segment. I'll click here to add content. And now what the system did is it actually copied my existing content that I already had from the previous original version of the widget. So now I can modify this content. I actually want to delete everything and paste some already ready HTML here, which contains our tablet banner. I'm gonna click save. And now we can see that this content block widget got highlighted because it's personalized. And we have here that this widget is personalized for customers with notebook purchase or for people who don't belong to any segment. And if I preview the page, I'm already logged in with the admin user who has a notebook purchase, and instead of seeing the default laptop, we should see the tablet. So let me preview the page. And here we go, we see the personalized version of this page. So far, everything looks good. But as I'm browsing the website, I see that we are showing the phone number for the United States, and I want to personalize this phone number for our visitors from UK. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to publish this page so that we have this personalized version. And I'm actually going to show you, I'm going to log out from this website. And we see now the non-personalized version. And let me log in again with my admin credentials and I'm logged in on the front end. And since I'm a customer who already has a notebook purchase, I see the recommendation for a tablet. So now let's go and personalize the phone number. And this phone number, by the way, I want to show you that this phone number is available across all the pages on the website. So we're looking at the career page, we can look at the news page. And in order to personalize the phone number, we have to go and personalize the template. So I'm going to go back in our admin area. I'm going to go to the design, page templates. And I'm going to find our template, which is the default template here, Quantum 3.0. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on it. So we see the template and here's this phone number that I want to personalize. It's the same, we personalize widgets on templates the same way we personalize them on pages. We're adding a personalized version for a specific segment, and my predefined segments here should contain, yep, here it is, visitors from United Kingdom, which looks at their IP address and associates with and resolves it to a specific country. So I'm gonna click add, and I'm gonna change this image. Let me see here, properties. I'm gonna show the UK flag, change the image, recent images, here go, I have a flag here. I wanna use that. And in addition to changing the flag, we also wanna change the phone number. So I have here a UK phone number. Just gonna paste the content from Word. All right, and so here's our UK phone number. I'm gonna save this. And I'm gonna publish the page. I mean, this is the template, sorry, I'm gonna publish the template. And notice that we have other templates here, Quantum 3.0 products and shop that inherit from the default template. Now the other ones that inherit from the default one should also be personalized. And let's see how this works. So I am going to go to marketing, personalization, and under personalization, what we have is the ability to preview the website. So visit the website as. So currently we'll be looking at the default view, non-personalized. So let me see if I can specify a segment, customers with notebook purchase. I can see the tablet now, but I still see this phone number. So if I select the segments, visitors from the United Kingdom, we can see that now we are seeing a personalized version of the website for a visitor who may belong to those two segments, customers with notebook purchase and visitors from United Kingdom. So the phone number changed. And if I go to products, just to show you that these pages are the ones actually using a different template, and the phone number is still personalized, and this is because those templates inherit from the one that we already personalized. Okay, now let's look at the following scenario. The marketing team is running a campaign called Green Campaign, where all Quantum customers can bring their old devices to be recycled to one of the offices, and they can save up to $300 on a new purchase of a laptop. So we have here a landing page with just standard landing page with some text, image, and a registration form for the event. Now the marketing team wants to personalize the homepage for all existing customers so that they guide them to this landing page for them to register, but they don't want to target anybody else, only existing customers. So in this case, we want to add a banner here to the home page, and this will change the page layout. So obviously, personalization per widget no longer works for us for these cases. So we have to create a new personalized version of the entire page. So let me go close this and go to the home page again. So I'll open the home page, and instead of personalizing widgets, this time I will personalize the entire page by creating a personalized version here for existing customers. I have here a segment already defined for that. So I'm gonna go and create my content. So we see again the home page. So in that case, I will change the layout. So here I'm gonna add a new layout element. And I will move this list here to the left, and in this space that I just cleared, I want to use the new engagement card widget to create this banner that we will be showing and recommending people to go and register for the event on the landing page. So let me use the card widget, which is MVC based. And when you edit this widget, here's our designer. We have the option to specify heading, some description of the banner, an image, and then define the primary call to action for our banner. So let me quickly add some text here. So the heading will be recycle your laptop and save. So for text, I'll just copy some text over from my other monitor. Save up to $300 on a new quantum device when you bring in your old quantum laptop to be recycled at our annual Recycle Your Laptop event. So for image, I will select an image from the already available images here. Select. For primary call to action would be register for event, and the URL, we will specify a page, the green campaign. Just one last thing I need to do here is to add some styles, banner card, and click save. So here's our banner that we just created, and let me preview this real quick. So we see the banner, and if you click register for the event, you'll be taken to the green campaign event. All right, so let's go back here. Let me publish the page. And we're gonna go to the personalization area again to preview the website. And by the way, if you're wondering where those segments are being created, this is where you create segments. You can just click create a segment and choose from the different characteristics. There are a lot of them available. You can use characteristics from your marketing automation system, such as Marketo, for example. So let's preview the website. And we're gonna specify a segment. So for existing customers, when I select it, now we should see the banner. So far so good, and this looks awesome. What if the marketing team wanted now to measure whether the personalized version of the homepage actually helped to drive more event registrations for our Recycle Your Laptop event than the non-personalized version? And in order to answer this question, we turn to the Sitefinity Digital Experience Cloud and its new personalization analytics features. So let me go here, and I'm already logged into the Digital Experience Cloud. So for the people who are new to the product, it is a cloud-based marketing analytics solution that makes it super easy for you to analyze, optimize, and personalize the end-to-end customer journey for all your target segments. We also give you a 360-degree view of your customer by combining data from multiple data sources such as your CRM system, marketing automation system, and all website behavior of a given person. So let's look at the personalization analytics feature, which can be found under conversions on the left. We already have one report created, but if you wanted to create a separate one, all we have to do is give it a name, specify the URL of the personalized page, and select the conversions for which you want to measure the attribution for the personalization. In this case, we already have two conversions created, such as number of opportunities for the sales team and website registrations. So let's look at already available data from a sample report. I'm going to click here, and what we see is a chart that shows a timeline view of page visits per segment, and the segments are available on the right. So we have visitors from the financial services vertical, customers with notebook purchases, enterprise prospects, mobile visitors, and overall contacts who visited the page. Then we have a breakdown of contacts who visited the page and contacts who visited only the personalized versions of this page here. Then we have a pie chart that visualizes the breakdown per segment that we are targeting and that they visited the respective personalized version. And at the bottom is where we have attribution to conversions. We see how each personalized version of the page attributes to the conversion rate relative to the other personalized versions. For our two conversions here, which are opportunities and registrations, we can see that the enterprise prospects has the highest relative conversion rate for creating new opportunities. So it's good that we personalized the homepage for this segment if this is the metric that we are interested in. But if we're looking at website registrations, we can see that visitors from the financial services vertical and the mobile visitors, so those two target segments that we've personalized the page for, have the highest relative conversion rate compared to the other personalized versions and non-personalized versions for increasing this conversion, which is the website registrations. Here we have additional views for this attribution data. We can break it down by segment. We can see a heat map by conversion and segment, and then we can see a timeline by hits and conversion rate. So now let's take a look at the new additional features in the Sitefinity Digital Experience Cloud, such as the content properties. So for that, I'm going to go to the administration area, select the data center we're working with, Sitefinity 8.2, and we have contact properties. So when you bring data for all your contacts to the Digital Experience Cloud from your CRM, marketing automation system, as well as online forms that may be available on the website, you gather all these different contact details, and here you specify which ones you want to display within the system and use. So that you don't have a lot of data that you don't really need and it's not meaningful to you. So for example, if we wanted to add a new contact property, you just click here, give it a name, let's say job title, and then you can say uses data from, and then you can select from a predefined list of data properties. Currently we do not import the job title here, but we can easily do that from our CRM if we wanted to. Now, what I want to show you here that it's a really cool feature is, let's say we look at the phone number for a contact. Currently it takes data from the phone field, which comes from the CRM system. But what if you wanted to add additional fallback option, such as the second phone, which may come from the website forms? And in this case, we see here priority 1 and priority 2. The Digital Experience Cloud will take the first phone number, if it's available from your CRM system, but if there is no such phone number in your CRM system, it will take it from the other data source here, which could be the website and the online forms. So in that case, you can add several data sources and let the Digital Experience Cloud take the data that is available in the one with the highest priority. So why are these custom contact properties useful, and how can you benefit from them? So to answer this question, let's look at, go back to our demo data center here, Sitefinity 8.2, and we're gonna go to conversions. So let's say you wanna measure the conversions for opportunities for a specific segment. All we have to do here is go define a new conversion, give it a name, opportunities, financial services industry, and then select which interactions you can give, let's say become, let's see here, whoops, that's not available, active user, become an opportunity, done. So the people who become an opportunity from this specific segment. So how do we define this segment? Currently we don't want to analyze all the available, but then we can say a particular segment of contacts that has personal data, and here we have company industry is, and we can either type it or we can select it from an available list. Financial services right here, done. You can select multiple if you want to. And here we have one criteria for our segmentation, but if you want, you can add more, and you can combine them by behavioral or by personal data. So if you want to see people from the financial services industry who downloaded a specific white paper, you can definitely measure conversions for that specific segment. And once you create the conversion, what the system would do is it will calculate the conversion rate for you, give you what your existing conversion rate is, what is the average in terms of percentage, give you the top attribution touch points for this conversion rate, and give you recommendations, the data-driven recommendations here that tell you what you can do in order to increase conversions, in this case by up to 30% from 14%, which will result in 30 new contacts. And these data-driven recommendations would be for the segment you specified during your conversion definition using the custom contact properties. You can also use custom contact properties when you go to contacts, and here you want to search for contacts that let's say contain financial services. And so you can find all the contacts that have that are from the financial services industry. You can export those results. You can send them an email by importing them in your email marketing system, or you can send those people to your sales team to give them a call, for example. One last feature that I want to go over here for the Sitefinity Digital Experience Cloud is the ability to trigger workflows in third-party systems based on lead score of a certain person. So if we go to our Quantum website and we see this engagement card widget here that we created to drive people to our landing page, and as they click here to go to register for the event, maybe they also fill out the form, we may be increasing their lead score. And in the Sitefinity Digital Experience Cloud, we have here the lead scoring. We have a predefined lead score. And as we are increasing the lead score of the contacts up until a certain threshold, we may decide to trigger a email workflow campaign in our email marketing system that sends them additional resources. And now we have the ability to do so using the API. And with that, I would like to conclude the overview of the new features for digital marketing in the Sitefinity platform, and we will go back to PowerPoint and continue with online forms. The Sitefinity 8.2 release adds a new way to create online forms using Microsoft ASP.NET MVC technology, in addition to the existing approach based on WebForms. This is yet another release from our open source initiative, Project Feather, which we started 2 years ago in order to take advantage of the newly available technology and make it easier for front-end developers to customize the CMS using the tools and UI frameworks they like the most. As a result of the hard work of our dedicated team of engineers, almost all out-of-the-box CMS widgets now have an MVC-based equivalent. The CMS also provides out-of-the-box integration with third-party UI frameworks such as Bootstrap, Semantic UI, and Foundation. So let's take a closer look at the new MVC-based online forms and other improvements that Project Feather delivers. So here we see a list of all the form widgets that you typically use to create an online form, and it is important to mention that there is feature parity between the existing Sitefinity web forms and the new MVC-based form widgets, with some improvements and minor differences. So let's take a look at what are some of the differences. For example, since the MVC forms use HTML5, the text box widget provides an easy way to configure validation and set the respective text field input type as shown on the image here. You can have just pure text, you can have an email validation with an email input type, you can also have password. Moreover, the WebForms instructional text widget, which you may have used to provide instructions on an online form, is now called content block because those two are essentially the same thing. The new captcha widget, used to prevent spam from bots, is different, and forms that have a captcha widget can now be submitted with an AJAX call instead of a postback. Which is required if you use WebForms based instead of MVC based captcha. As a matter of fact, the captcha for MVC forms is the same as the captcha used for comments in Sitefinity CMS. And if you like to use the Google reCAPTCHA service, which tends to be very popular amongst developers, there is a sample widget using this service available on GitHub for you to go and explore and use within your own projects. Some other improvements that Project Feather delivers is a new setting in the UI for the content block widget where you can exclude its content from search indexing of the website, so that content that you create within the content block widget will not be available through the search results. There is also a improvement within the template grid, so that the templates now display the UI framework that they're based on, if any. As you can see here on the image, if a template is based on the Bootstrap package, the system would indicate that, or if it's based on the Foundation package, you're going to see that in the grid, in the template grid as well, which makes it easier to find the templates that you're looking for and eliminates confusion. So now let's take a look at a quick demo of the new MVC-based online forms. And for this, we're going to transition back to our Quantum demo website. Go to the administrative area here, find our forms. So going on the content, forms. And we have some forms created using WebForms. So here, this event registration form is used on our green campaign page to register people for the event. Here we have the text box that has the first, last name, the email, and I'll show you the difference here. So this is WebForms technology, and this is how the designer of this widget looks like. And if I preview the form on the front end, and let's take a look at the source code. So this is email. And the input currently is type text. So the input doesn't change even though we have email validations configured for this widget. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to forms and create a new MVC-based form. So let's give our form a name, event registration MVC. And let's look at the advanced properties, and we see that the MVC framework has been selected by default. So if you have the Feather UI framework installed within your Sitefinity instance, by default, every new form that you create would be based on the MVC framework. Let's go here and add some content. So I'm going to add a text box. This would be our first name field. This is required. Then we're going to add another text box, would be last name. Here again, the required field. The next one would be the email. If here email, this would be a required field, but for this one we want to change the validation. So instead of a text box input field type, we're gonna set email validation, and this will change the email input type. Save here. And one more widget that I'm gonna add to this form is a simple drop-down list. With let's see here, this would be our company row, and the first one would be, let's see, IT manager. The second option would be line of business manager, and the third option, one more option, would be other. This will not be a required field, or okay, let's make this a required. By the way, you also have different templates that you can create for these widgets, so that you can customize how these widgets look, and give it a CSS class if you wish. So click save. Now I'm not going to save this form, but what I want to show you is that the input field type for these text boxes is different for the names as well as the email. So if we preview the form now, let's take a look here at the source code of those text boxes. So as you would expect, the last name input field type here on the right, we see that the type is text. But if we look at the email, now we see that the type has changed to email. So why is this important? We've received numerous requests for people to be able to change the input type of their form fields, because this improves the mobile experience for the website visitors when they're trying to fill out a form. And for example, when you have different input types, each mobile device knows automatically which keyboard version to bring, so that the user can easily type the text or the entry that's required of them in the specific text box. And to visualize what I mean, I'm gonna close this and we're gonna just publish this form. We've just created our MVC form that we can now go and put on our pages and replace any of the existing website forms. So we're gonna go now to PowerPoint, and I'm gonna show you what I mean by the different mobile keyboards. Here on the left, we have the standard keyboard that you see when you try to type in a URL address. I want to point your attention here to the left, where you can see the / that you need when you're typing URLs. And then on the right, I have an email field here selected, and we see this @ symbol that you used to use when you are typing email addresses. So that's why it's important to specify the input type for each text field in your web forms in order to improve the mobile experience of your visitors. So now let's look at the MVC forms from a developer perspective and some of the extensibility points. So developers have the ability to extend and customize the presentation, validation, and business logic of every form. And the benefits that MVC brings, one, it's a convention-based framework so that you can easily create new custom form widgets. You have full control over the HTML markup. You can also develop faster because the views do not need to be compiled. And because of this, there's no longer a need for you to use Visual Studio, and you can use your favorite tools such as Sublime Text or even Notepad to write custom code. Moreover, now there is UI, user interface for field input type validation, which previously wasn't as nicely done and was kind of hard to find within the widget designer. You can also extend the client-side and server-side validation for a given form field, and you have, of course, the powerful API that gives you complete control over the business logic, and you can decide what to happen with the form data when the user clicks the submit button. So let's take an even deeper look. So everything in the new MVC forms is based on the project Feather and the Feather UI framework. And also native ASP.NET MVC technology. We have the same data persistence implementation that is used for the Sitefinity web forms is now used for the MVC forms, so that there's nothing new for you to learn there. There's a new property of the form descriptor class that indicates whether the form uses the MVC or web forms framework. And one other thing that we need to look into more detail is how the form is composed and what are the different components of a form, such as the form elements and the form fields. So if we take a look at the sample form here, the entire form is a form controller of itself. It's just standard MVC controller. And since the same persistence object is used, it has a collection of controls. So every one of those controls is rendered again through an MVC controller. And we can see here that we have form element controller for the section header element and the submit button form element. We also have two text boxes that are form field controllers, and those are field elements. There's a very slight and subtle difference between a form element and a form field. And initially it can be confusing, but at the same time it's really simple once you get it. So in essence, a form element is a control that cannot be edited or does not accept any value, such as the section header of the form or the submit button. And then a form field is a control that can be edited and accepts input data, such as the text box. So a form field inherits from a form element from a class standpoint. And when you're creating custom form fields, you do not have to inherit from a form element. You can implement the interfaces with your own logic should you need to do so. You can learn more on how to create custom MVC forms in the Sitefinity documentation and referring to the how-to tutorials available on GitHub. And with that, let's turn to the next new feature available with Sitefinity 8.2, namely the performance optimization dashboard. which enables you to better understand how well your website is optimized for performance so you can make it run faster. For example, the performance optimization dashboard can quickly give you an overview of all the important performance configurations that every website needs to have before it's deployed in a production environment, such as whether you've turned the debug mode on or off. And this is important because again and again we see websites being deployed to a production environment with debug mode turned on, which has a significant negative impact on performance, because this mode should be only the debug mode should only be turned on during your in your development environment. You can see whether you've configured content delivery networks for the various library providers that the website may be using, and so on. So let's go and see a quick demo of this new dashboard. So for that, we're going to go back to our Quantum website, and you can find the performance optimization dashboard under administration, tools area, and then diagnostics. Here on the bottom left corner, we have performance optimization tips, and here's our dashboard that gives you really nice green and orange indicators of whether something's configured appropriately or not. For example, you can see whether the client cache has been configured, and if you are not familiar with client caching, you can just click on the link to learn more, and this will take you straight to the Sitefinity documentation topic that explains what client caching is and how you can benefit from it. Moreover, when you look at the caching here for pages, we see that we have multi-site support, and we can take a look at all the different websites in our multi-site instance here. So that's available. What else? Here we have the debug mode, and in this case it's orange, but it says that it's turned off. So so far everything is good. We have a warning here that the CDN for all the libraries has been turned off for some of them, which is okay. This is what we anticipate, but then you can see here the different providers that those libraries use. So it's a great overview in one simple dashboard of whether your website is optimized for its best performance. And then on the right, we give you some additional tips on what else you can do to optimize the website to be even faster. You can scroll through those. So let's go back to our PowerPoint and see what else is new in Sitefinity 8.2. And in terms of performance, we are also adding support for SSL offloading. And what this does is it moves the SSL encoding and decoding functions away from the busy web servers to a specialized device such as a load balancer, which is better equipped to handle CPU-intensive SSL calculations. And so this allows the web servers to dedicate important CPU resources to other application processing tasks, which can improve the overall performance of your websites. So let the load balancer deal with the SSL encryption and decryption, and let the web servers deal with processing more important requests for your website and serving that information faster to your visitors. We recommend that you use SSL offloading only in case when you have a lot of HTTPS traffic and requests, because if your web servers are not really busy, then there's no real need for you to use SSL offloading and move that to a separate dedicated device. And the next topic in today's webinar is the cloud support and deployment, which is something very exciting because the team has done a lot of work in that area. We've improved the integration, deployment, and scaling for both Microsoft Azure as well as Amazon AWS. So for Microsoft Azure, we're making it easier for you to deploy websites to the web apps and cloud services. Moreover, we are now supporting multiple instances and auto-scaling on Azure Web Apps. We recommend you to use Azure Web Apps for hosting web applications on the Azure cloud due to its easy management, high availability, and efficient scaling. Sitefinity apps can run on multiple instances on the Azure Web App thanks to the Redis cache, which is used for communication between the different nodes. We are also adding support for you to deploy the database straight to to Azure SQL using the SQL Server Management Studio. And all you need to do is go to the database, go to the tasks, and click Deploy Database to Azure SQL. And this will open a wizard where you can just follow the on-screen instructions, connect to a server, and once you're connected, you have to specify the database maximum size, what's your service objective, specify a location for the temporary file where it will be stored, give it a database name, click Next, and your database will be deployed. You can also deploy your website files straight from Visual Studio using the standard publish functionality that Microsoft provides. And on top of that, we are adding PowerShell scripts for automated deployments to Azure Web Apps and Amazon Cloud Services, which allow you to pre-configure a desired hosting environment and set up continuous deployment processes. The deployment package contains configuration files for the cloud environment, such as the database instances, the load balancing configurations, search, blob storage, etc. And it can be run from any machine with Windows PowerShell or using source control and repository tools like TFS, Git, and GitHub. But now, let's take a quick look at how all this looks in the Azure web portal. So here we are in the Azure portal where we have our cloud services. And on the left, we're going to select web apps in order to go and see the settings for our Azure web app. Currently, this is the Sitefinity demo site here. That we're going to select, and we will go and choose the settings for scaling this app. And here we have the ability to configure how we want to scale the app depending on the load, and currently this is manually, so we can set the instances to, let's say, 3. And now we have to also go and make sure we have a Redis cache instance running, which will provide our common infrastructure for transmitting messages between the different server nodes. For example, in case there's a content update on one of the servers, Redis will tell all other servers to invalidate their cache and to recache and start serving the updated content. So for this instance, we need to make sure that the access key is configured properly in Sitefinity CMS. So we're going to go to the administration settings, find the load balancing area under system. And we're now going to see settings for the Redis cache, and we need to make sure that the connection string setting matches our connection string from the Redis access key in Windows Azure. Now that we have Redis configured, let's go back to our Azure portal and look at some other options for scaling the website, in addition to the manual scaling that we just saw. So what we're going to do is we're going to configure a new profile to scale the website and to handle the traffic for the upcoming Christmas season. For that, we're going to add a new profile. Give it a name Christmas season here, and then specify that we want to scale between 5 and 10 server node instances. And the dates will be between December 1st and December 31st when this profile will be active. And once we create it, we can just add some additional rules to specify how the scaling would get triggered, and that's it. Our website will be able to handle the high volume of traffic that our Quantum website expects for the Christmas sales season. And with that, let's switch to the other popular cloud, which is the Amazon AWS. We continue to improve our support for Amazon Web Services by introducing out-of-the-box load balancing support for the Amazon Cloud using Redis cache and making it easier for you to configure Sitefinity to work with various Amazon Cloud services such as the S3 blob storage, which you can benefit from and store all your Sitefinity images and files, or other services such as the Amazon Cloud Search and Elasticsearch. So let's take a look at a quick demo of the Amazon Cloud. So here we are in the Amazon Management Console, where we have set up some servers in our EC2 environment. So we have three server instances running, and two of those servers are set up in a load balanced environment. So we have a load balancer here, Quantum. Currently it's connected to two of those instances, as you can see here. And now we need to also make sure that we have an Elastic Cache service running that uses the Redis cache engine and that is properly configured in Sitefinity CMS. So we go to the Elastic Cache, our cache clusters, go to the one that we're using here. As you can see, it uses the Redis as its engine for caching. Then we need to go and look at the node for this cache cluster, take its address, and go back to the CMS, go to the advanced settings in Sitefinity CMS under System. It's over here. Then load balancing, and go and change that Redis setting for our caching so that it's properly configured with the Amazon Elastic Cache service that we are using here. So everything is all good. So now let's take a look at what other configurations we can enable for Amazon Web Services. So if we go back to our basic settings for the website on a global level, we can see that we can set up a different search providers. So we can choose between Lucene, Azure Search, Elasticsearch, and the Amazon Search Service. All we need to do is specify here an endpoint for this Elasticsearch. We can also configure different storage providers. Currently we have just two set up, but we can add a new storage provider. And as you can see here, we have Windows Azure and Amazon S3 storage providers that we can easily configure to store our images and documents in one of those cloud services. With this, we've just seen a small portion of all the capabilities that are available to you to deploy and scale your websites on either the Microsoft Azure or Amazon Cloud platforms. So now let's turn to PowerPoint again and take a look at the new improvements that the team has done to make it easy for you to upgrade to Sitefinity 8.2. So now when you go to upgrade your website to the latest Sitefinity version, you're going to be able to see all the changes that happened under the hood in a nice upgrade log available in the browser when you first request the website. We're also making it easier for you to upgrade websites in a load balanced environment by upgrading one server at a time, which will of course cause a database upgrade once you upgrade the first server. Nevertheless, all the other servers will continue to function properly even though they're connected to an upgraded version of the database. So for the upgrade, when you go to your Sitefinity Project Manager, which is a desktop application that many of our customers use to manage their Sitefinity websites, and when you click Upgrade to upgrade an existing website to Sitefinity 8.2, the upgrade process will happen, and then when you go to request the application in the browser, this will actually trigger an upgrade to the database and configurations, and you're going to see all this. We're going to see all these moving wheels during the upgrade process, and once the process is complete, you're going to see a check mark and all the details of the changes that happened during the upgrade process to the database into the configuration files. And one last thing that I want to share with you is that we have an improved knowledge base section on the website, which makes it easier for you to find the articles that you're looking for by filtering according to a given product area or a specific product version. You can also use a dedicated search box that is integrated with Google Search Appliance so that you can search the same way you search on google.com. And the team will be investing resources in the coming future to further improve our knowledge base and produce additional articles so that you can easily find critical information when you need it. And now that we have seen everything that we plan to show you today, I would like to hand it over to Rob to talk about next steps.
So obviously, after seeing a brand new version of the Sitefinity software, I bet a lot of people out there are just waiting to get their hands on it. If you'd like to, you can just go to sitefinity.com/try now and get yourself a trial of 8.2. If you'd like to learn more about Sitefinity and some of the details, you can see the What's New page, which will give you a summary you can maybe share with your colleagues, or you can go to docs.sitefinity.com, and that will give you all the detail that you'd like to know about what's new in Sitefinity 8.2. And if you'd like to learn more about Project Feather, which if you remember is our open source project, it's MVC based, so you can go to projectfeather.sitefinity.com, or it's also on GitHub at github.com/sitefinity/feather. And as an extra added bonus, there are some new how-to tutorials and code samples. So if you're looking to create custom form fields, if you're looking to extend your text field, or do some more work in field validation, you can learn how to do that right there. So with that said, we know there's a bunch of questions that are out there. A lot of people on the call probably dying to know a few more details that we didn't go over, or to clarify something that maybe went by a little too quickly. Feel free to ask, and Anton is going to be handling the Q&A section.
Thank you.